How long is this going to take? It's taking a bit longer than expected. You're not there yet, so what is going on? Well, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Jocko Kanchefu, and today we're discussing the technical term called planning fallacy. So, I'm sure you know the term. If you fail to plan, you've planned to fail. Essentially saying that without preparation and preparing for a situation, a goal, an achievement, an intention, you're not going to get there. You're setting up yourself to not reach it. You're setting up yourself to reach something else, and that's not what you want. So, a planning fallacy. It's very easy to underestimate the time and very easy to not realize what it actually takes and what's associated with being this person, with achieving this goal, with having this in your hands. When you're embarking on something new, when you're going on a new journey, you're discovering yourself, you're developing a new habit, a new hobby, to better yourself or to change your certain circumstantial environment. You're changing your old habits, you're changing your way of thinking, you're changing your beliefs, you're changing your values and how you see yourself. So alongside of the process, it's easy to neglect how much time it will take. It's easy to neglect the costs and the risks associated with embarking on this journey. One great example is having a deadline. So when you have a deadline, you know, okay, by this date, this project, this assignment, this piece of work is due, whether it's your boss, whether it's a university or something of the like. So with this information, you can either chunk up your days to know, okay, every day I need to do X amount of work. And once you've broken it up, you've chunked it down, you know that, okay, this requires amount of time every day. Now, it's easy to think, okay, this is such a small amount of work that I have to do every single day. I can just push it back. Tomorrow I'll just do double. Or the next day I'll just do triple. I can easily catch up. Well, I'm picking that, it's so small, I can just do another day. Because you've changed your perspective to, this huge project is due in this day, into, just every day I have to do this, it becomes easier to feel that it is nothing, it is worthless, it isn't what it is going to be. And moreover, it's left to the last minute. And this all relates to an optimistic bias. We believe that our ability is enough. For instance, I can catch up with this work whenever. It's not going to take as much time, effort, energy than I think it is. And that's a good way to think. An optimistic way of thinking, it helps us. It helps us think bigger, better, and allows us to gain courage and confidence in who we are and what we can do. However, it downplays the fact that the energy required, the focus, the attention, and essentially negating the negative side. For example, let me ask you a question. If I set you an action plan, aka homework, to go and think about yourself, about your actions, or think about the way you see yourself the rest of the week. When we reconvene next week to talk again, it's very likely that some people, day before, realize, I was meant to do this task, cram it in one day, and then present their findings. However, what the appropriate thing would be to do, using a portion of every single day, set aside a specific time to analyze, reflect, and sit down to jot down the action step. But you're definitely not alone. From product developers, companies, CEOs, whatever it may be, whenever there is a task that has to be achieved, a goal, an outcome, it requires actionable steps every single part of the process. Actionable steps are broken down pieces of a goal. And seeing a broken down piece doesn't paint the whole picture. And our mind only sees a broken down piece and thinks, okay, broken down piece doesn't require much effort, thinking, so I can just place it until tomorrow. What we're discussing is, let's turn that around. A broken down piece requires your effort, time, and attention. So when you give it your effort, time, and attention, you are adding to the end goal. You are participating in the end goal, not neglecting it, not assuming that it will play out itself. You have to actively engage your mind to realize, work on it today, work on it tomorrow, work on it the day after, and continue that. Then you're switching your mind frame from, never mind, I'll just do whatever. But no, this is a part of doing that work. When I do it on a daily basis, I'm reaching the end goal. What's the practical way of going about this? Having something that's accurate to what you need to be doing on a daily basis. How many words you need to be writing, how many conversations you need to be having, how many calls you need to be having. That's accurate data. Is essentially adding to the painting. You pick a color, you know the accurate data, you know where to place that color on the canvas, and it adds to the painting. That accurate data creates a trajectory, a goal, and the focal point on where you need to be on a daily basis. So think about this. When you're handed a task, when you're told to produce this outcome, you're more likely to think of the positive outcome or the success that's going to happen from it. Are you going to just consider the other side of that? The pitfalls, the struggles, the asking questions, the research, whatever else is needed to complete the task. What other work is required from that? Yes, you're going to achieve this goal. Yes, you're going to make it happen. But what we're really looking at is look at the other side of that. There is a consideration to be taken with the time, the energy, the focus that we're having upon actions we take or whether we're not taking them. And also what other barriers are occurring. So what our conversation is about today is to make you aware of this. If it's taking longer than expected, if you're not at this position at the time you want, it's because there's another side to reaching a goal. You have to attain it, you have to work on it, you have to develop it, and then it happens naturally through occurring actions time and time again on a daily basis. I've got two wonderful examples of this in real life. So first one is Sydney Opera House. It essentially took 10 years longer and over £100 million more to be completed than originally planned. One major reason was because the government's insistence on starting construction early, despite the plans not being finished yet. You see it? And number two, the Canadian Pacific Railway. This essentially took 4 years later than expected and £20 million over budget, all centered around failing to plan for difficulties of building through mountain ranges over the Canadian Shield. Do you see how it affects even personal and work life? So all in all, the way to avoid and the way to work with it is to incorporate outside information into the planning process, whether that's a teacher, whether that's your boss, whether that's a colleague, whether that's a friend or family, rather than solely relying on your intuition. That can look like setting specific intentions, envisioning yourself carrying out those individual tasks, and as I kept repeating, chunking that major goal into manageable daily steps. Then you have a true understanding of how much time, effort, energy, and focus it truly takes. I hope you enjoyed today's coaching conversation. If you did, be sure to subscribe. Share this with a friend or family you think will benefit from learning this topic. My name is Jocko Kanchefu. Have a good day, morning, night or evening for wherever you are in the world watching this. And I'll see you next week for our next conversation.